The 6 realms after death, the truth about the theory of rebirth. Welcome back, everyone, to Mind Podcast. The theory of rebirth encompasses the entire universe, including humans and all beings within it. Essentially, anything that exists in this world falls within the cycle of samsara. For instance, the giant Earth spinning on its axis in space, with one side facing the sun being bright and the other side being dark, causes the alternation of day and night, a phenomenon that has occurred continuously for millions of years. This incessant rotation from day to night and night to day exemplifies the cyclical nature of light and darkness, or day and night, which is an aspect of samsara. Similarly, the varying distances between the Earth and the sun create different levels of heat, leading humans to divide their living environment into 4 seasons: spring, summer, autumn, and winter. The perpetual change and rotation of these 4 seasons represent the samsara of the seasons. Each time we witness a loved one passing away, we experience deep sorrow because we will never see that person again in this life. The bonds formed over many years through close living, mutual care, and shared successes and failures are severed. Now that loved one is definitively gone, meaning they have died. Their rigid body remains, but where has their soul, their life force gone? This question rarely crosses our minds until we face the loss, at which point it fills us with many doubts and anxieties. To address this, we must explore where humans come from and whether life truly ends with death or if there is something beyond. Regarding the Buddhist theory of rebirth, what is it? Literally, rebirth, samsara in Sanskrit, refers to the continuous cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. This perpetual cycle is often symbolized by the wheel of samsara. We can imagine the wheel of samsara as a circle where human life continuously rotates, with no discernible beginning or end. This unending cycle traps humans in a sea of suffering from one life to the next until they achieve ultimate enlightenment and liberation. Around the world, most religions address the concept of rebirth, but each has its own interpretation. In Buddhism, when the Buddha attained the threefold knowledge Trividya, the knowledge of past lives, buddhisminenglish, the knowledge of the divine I, Dibbakaku, and the knowledge of the extinction of defilements, asavakayajnana, these insights answered his questions about human origins in the afterlife. The knowledge also explained why humans endure the cycle of birth and death. Through this realization, the Buddha recognized that rebirth is a fundamental truth imposed on all beings, leaving no one exempt. This realization was not a result of the Buddha's imagination, but from his enlightenment, revealing its existence since time immemorial, even before the Buddha's birth. The knowledge of past lives, buddhisminenglish, is the clear wisdom that comprehends countless past lives of the present self. This realization affirmed the existence of rebirth. According to the Jataka tales, the Buddha clearly saw and remembered his innumerable past lives, knowing who he was, where he was born, and what he did. The origin of humans is explained through the knowledge of the divine I, Dibbakaku, which sees the karma, actions, that lead to rebirth in accordance with the law of cause and effect. Where there is a cause, there will be an effect. If this exists, that exists. If this arises, that arises. If this ceases, that ceases. The divine I, Dibbakaku, is the insightful eye that clearly sees the detailed past and future of all beings, observing beings dying in one place and being reborn in another within the 6 realms of existence. He saw the scene of people being reborn clearly, like someone standing on a high tower, looking down at a crossroads, seeing people coming and going below. Thus, when a person dies, it is not the end. Rather, they are guided by their karma to be reborn in the 6 realms of samsara. On the final night of the 4th week, at the 3rd watch under the Bodhi tree, the Buddha attained the knowledge of the extinction of the defilements, asavakayajnana. Defilements are the impurities such as greed, hatred, and delusion, also known as karma, which are the good or bad seeds accumulated in the minds of beings over many lifetimes. Extinction means the end, signifying that the Buddha clearly understood the reasons causing beings to endure the cycle of birth and death. To attain liberation from samsara, one must practice and completely eliminate the defilements. In summary, due to the complete tranquility of his mind and the enlightenment of his spiritual wisdom, the Buddha remembered all events across countless past lifetimes. What the Buddha realized is challenging for ordinary minds to comprehend, but we cannot help but place our faith in his teachings. Over 2,600 years ago, the Buddha proclaimed things that ordinary eyes could not see. Today, science has proven through the microscope that in a drop of water, there are 84,000 microorganisms. Regarding the universe, he said that beyond the vast space, there are countless worlds that cannot be fully counted. Later, while spreading his teachings, the Buddha explained the theory of rebirth to beings. He taught that humans are subject to the cycle of birth and death from one life to the next because of their actions, not due to the interference of any deities or gods. Good or bad actions, words, thoughts, and accumulated habits from many lives carry over to this life and continue to accumulate further, collectively called karma. This karma is the cause, and where there is a cause, there will be an effect. Therefore, after death, people must be reborn to experience the results of the good or bad causes they created in their previous lives. Discussing the samsara of all things, let's look around us. All the trees, mountains, rivers, and oceans do not escape the cycle of samsara. For example, a mango seed, an orange seed, a grapefruit seed, a tangerine seed, or a pine seed, when it falls to the ground under suitable conditions, will sprout into a seedling, grow into a tree, and bear fruit. If the fruit is not harvested, it falls to the ground, the seed separates, and when the conditions are right, it will grow into a new tree. This is the samsara of plants. Water in rivers and oceans also follows this cycle. Water evaporates due to the sun's heat, condenses into clouds when cooled, falls as rain, and the cycle continues. This is the samsara of water. Regarding the nature of humans, we see even more clearly the cycle of samsara. The Buddha taught that humans consist of two parts, name nama and form rupa. Form refers to the physical body and name refers to the mind or consciousness. Both the body and mind undergo their own cycles of samsara. For example, the human body is composed of 4 elements: earth, water, wind, and fire. The solid parts correspond to earth, e.g. skin, flesh, muscles, tendons, bones, hair, nails, teeth. Blood, pus, sweat, tears, and mucus are considered water. The respiratory system functions through inhaling and exhaling air, representing wind. The body's warmth corresponds to fire. When these 4 elements are not in harmony, a person becomes ill, and lacking one element, a person cannot survive. When a person dies, these 4 elements dissolve and return to the universe, so the physical body also undergoes samsara. Regarding the mind or consciousness, it constantly changes, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, sometimes loving, sometimes hating, sometimes gentle, sometimes fierce. When the mind is happy, that is birth. When happiness ends, that is cessation. Thoughts arise, which is birth. When thoughts cease, that is cessation. This cycle of birth and cessation is known in Buddhism as the cycle of the mind. In other words, it can be seen as the samsara of the mind. All phenomena in this world form and dissolve due to conditions, causing all things to change in form or state. For example, water evaporates due to heat and condenses into ice due to cold. This transformation is determined by conditions. For humans, the Buddha asserted that they undergo samsara because of defilements. As long as defilements exist, birth and death continue. When defilements end, the cycle of birth and death ceases. Defilements or karma are the causes leading to samsara. In Buddhist terms, defilements are the impurities and negative habits, wrong thoughts that lead to harmful actions towards oneself and others. These factors accumulate in the minds of people over many lifetimes, and in this life, they continue to create more karma through their actions, speech, and thoughts. Whatever humans create, whether good or evil, eventually turns into karma. Thus, there are 2 types of karma, good and bad. Good karma includes thoughts, words, and actions that bring peace and happiness to oneself and others. Keeping the body pure means not killing, harming others or animals, not stealing, and not engaging in sexual misconduct. Keeping speech pure involves not lying, not speaking harshly, not engaging in slander, and not gossiping. Keeping the mind pure means not harboring evil thoughts, not being greedy, angry, or deluded. Bad karma involves actions, words, and thoughts that are contrary to good karma, causing oneself anxiety and suffering and bringing misery to others. Karma itself is an abstract concept without a physical form, but it has the power to lead us through the paths of samsara. The more karma one creates and accumulates, the stronger its force becomes. This is referred to as karmic force. Karma, whether good or bad, does not arise naturally but is created by humans. Eventually, humans cannot resist the pull of karma, which leads them to experience the results of their actions in this life or the next, or at any given time. When the conditions are right, the results will manifest. What are the 6 realms of samsara? The depiction of the 6 realms of samsara describes conditional existences where beings are reborn after death. Samsara is the continuous cycle of birth and rebirth in 6 realms, where beings are born in one realm and reborn in another. This cycle of birth and death is unending. Only by practicing and eliminating defilements and attaining the fruit of arhatship can one escape the cycle of birth and death in samsara. The 6 realms are often illustrated by the wheel of life, including the realms of gods, demigods, asuras, humans, animals, hungry ghosts, and hell. Let us explore each realm. First is the realm of gods. In Buddhist tradition, the realm of gods is inhabited by celestial beings who possess miraculous powers and majestic appearances, more refined and beautiful than humans. The realm of gods is a place of purity, joy, and freedom from worry, anger, suffering, or despair. These celestial beings were once virtuous humans who performed many good deeds, accumulated much merit, and practiced true mindfulness. After their physical death, they are reborn in this realm and live a blissful life, free from worries about the future, as they possess the power to transform anything they wish. However, these celestial beings sometimes forget about their spiritual practice and the development of compassion and wisdom from their past lives. The scriptures state that the realm of gods is vast and divided into many levels, each corresponding to different degrees of good karma. For example, Queen Mahamaya, after giving birth to Prince Siddhartha, was reborn in the Tavatimsa heaven due to the great merit of giving birth to a future Buddha. Another example is Maitreya Bodhisattva, who is currently residing in the Tusita heaven, waiting for the right conditions to descend to this world to teach. According to the scriptures, before descending to the human world, Shakyamuni Buddha was a bodhisattva in the Tusita heaven. Celestial beings do not live forever in the realm of gods. Once they exhaust their merit, they must undergo rebirth, meaning they will die. Depending on their karma, they may be reborn as humans, ascend to a higher realm of gods, or descend to lower realms. Second is the realm of asuras. Asuras have powerful abilities but are not as majestic as celestial beings. Asuras are strong beings who, in their previous lives, had many talents but were greedy for fame and wealth, arrogant and boastful. Sometimes they are practitioners with high ranks but still harbor greed, anger, and delusion. They enjoy being praised for their merits, accompanied by attendants wherever they go. They may have contributed significantly to the Dharma by building temples and monasteries, but still have lingering desires and anger. They are pleased when praised and angry when criticized. Their merit is less than that of celestial beings, so when they die, they are reborn in the realm of asuras. If they perform good deeds and are less angry, they may be reborn as humans. If they practice to eliminate their violent nature and do not cause harm, compete, or harbor anger, they can be reborn in the realm of gods. If they remain angry, stingy, and selfish, they will be reborn as hungry ghosts after their asura life ends. Third is the human realm, known as the Saha world or the world of humans. It is for those who have created good karma before death or a mix of good and bad karma. Depending on their karma, they may be born beautiful or ugly, rich or poor, happy or suffering. The human realm is divided into many countries and various ethnicities. Therefore, when people are reborn, they may be born into a civilized country and enjoy blessings, or into a barbaric country and live in poverty and hardship. Scriptures often advise that being born as a human in this life is truly fortunate, and one should strive to create good karma, maintain the 5 precepts so that upon death, one may be reborn as a human again, living a happy and joyful life. Or practice the 10 good deeds in meditation to be reborn in the heavenly realm to enjoy blessings. Fourth, the realm of animals. This is the world of animals, including creatures living in water, underground, on land, creatures with 2 legs, 4 legs, many legs, long bodies, no legs, those with fur, horns, wings flying in the sky, or tiny microorganisms invisible to the naked eye. Animals live by instinct without rationality. Those who, while alive, pursued materialism, physical desires, engaged in selling drugs and indulged in addictions, dulling their minds, and those who committed cruel acts, killing people and animals, are reborn into the animal realm upon death. In this realm, death often ends tragically as one species preys on another savagely. Depending on the karma created before, animals may either exhaust their previous karma and be reborn into another form, or remain in this realm. Fifth, the realm of hungry ghosts. This realm is for spirits who in their past lives were excessively greedy, deceitful, corrupt, embezzling public funds, committing murder and robbery, taking charity funds for themselves, and showing no compassion for the hungry and thirsty, even beating and driving them away. Hungry ghosts are described as having large bellies but small mouths and throats, making it impossible for them to swallow food or drink. Thus they remain eternally hungry and thirsty. Sixth, the realm of hell. This is the place of extreme punishment and suffering, reserved for those who committed great evil and had no conscience, who did not believe in cause and effect, and who ruthlessly murdered, causing immense suffering to many, including innocent animals. Upon death, they are condemned to hell to experience the suffering they inflicted on others. The Kshitigarbha Sutra describes hell as divided into many levels, each corresponding to the severity and nature of one's deeds. Beings in hell, after being punished for their sins, may be reborn into higher realms such as the animal realm or the human realm to continue repaying their karma. The 6 realms of rebirth exist in our current lives. The Buddhist theory of rebirth describes an endless cycle of life and death driven by karma, which humans themselves create. After death, karma guides one to be reborn into a realm corresponding to their actions, continuing this cycle perpetually unless one practices to attain enlightenment and liberation. From an enlightened perspective, the 6 realms of rebirth manifest in the human body and mind while still living, not just after death. These 6 realms correspond to 6 states of mind. Those who live quietly, peacefully, always forgiving and loving all beings, live joyfully without worldly attachments. They are like celestial beings living in the heavenly realm. Some people, though living in the world, practice the 10 good deeds. They live ethically, do not harm themselves or others, refrain from evil deeds, and engage in good deeds, free from greed and desire. Their minds are peaceful and joyful, living like they are in the heavenly realm. Buddhists who follow the precepts, or those who have not yet taken refuge in the Triple Gem, but live kindly and ethically, not killing, stealing, or indulging in sexual misconduct, speaking kindly without causing harm, and avoiding gambling and drinking, are reborn as humans due to their virtues. The human realm has both suffering and joy. To escape suffering, one should choose a life of practice, eliminating desires and attachments to attain a light and free mind. Asuras are those who are often angry, not tolerant, always yelling and fighting with others. They always believe they are right, and even when they do good deeds, they easily become angry, displaying actions and words that hurt those they help. They expect others to be grateful and follow their wishes. Asuras live in a state of anger, love to argue, and fight with others. People who are unfortunate, poor, and suffer from hunger, cold in winter, heat in summer, and wetness in the rainy season, live in a state of craving and are like hungry ghosts. Those categorized as animals may have human bodies, but their nature is like animals, living by instinct, satisfying desires without rationality or ethics. Those who live in hell are those who suffer continuous pain and torment, similar to beings in hell. For example, those with chronic illness live in constant pain, and their lives are like beings being tortured in hell. Understanding the meaning of rebirth through the 6 realms, heaven, human, asura, hungry ghost, animal, and hell, in Buddhism is not to become discouraged, but to improve one's life from sorrow, anger, and unethical behavior to a happier, more beneficial life for oneself and society. In the 6 realms of rebirth, with our ordinary vision, we can only see the human and animal realms. The other 4 realms are described in scriptures, but are not visible to us. We are currently in the human realm. How can we explain the differences among people? Some with yellow, white, black, or red skin, black, blonde, or red hair, some beautiful and rich, some disabled and suffering. The Buddha, in his enlightenment, explained that humans are born according to karma. If in this life one does evil deeds causing suffering to others, their next rebirth will correspond to a life of suffering and poverty. Conversely, if one lives well and does good deeds, their next life will be better.